Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of The Wrap, Michigan Medicine's Employee Podcast. I am your guest host for this week, and who knows, maybe I'll just keep coming back. I'm Joe Halsey, and I'm here to prove that anything Dan and Hunter can do, I can do the same, better. Today, we're going to be bringing 3 new members of the Michigan medicine community. They are summer interns here at the Department of Communication, and we wanted to give the listeners and viewers an inside look of what it's like to be an intern here and find out why these type of opportunities are so important across the organization. And don't worry, there's an actual reason why I'm here, and that is because I too was an intern a long time ago. Now, before we bring on the guests, be sure you get caught up with every episode. Dan said you have to go listen to every episode of The Wrap before you listen to this one. You can find those shows on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or pretty much anywhere else that you find your podcasts. Also, we post this weekly on our YouTube channel, the Michigan Medicine YouTube channel, as part of the Headlines Week in Review. So you can find it there too. All right, let's bring on our special guests. So Bailey, LISAUREL, and Sam, can you go ahead and introduce yourselves and explain what you've been doing this summer? And maybe we could start with Bailey. Go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, my name's Bailey MRUZIK, and I am an internal communications intern this summer. It's been great so far. I've got so much experience with many different things. I have worked a lot on headlines, a couple different stories that I was so shocked a couple of them made, top 10. So I worked on the employee engagement survey result article, and then I did the Making a Difference Awards, a couple of those articles, and those came out really well. So I'm proud of that. I've helped Hunter and Samantha, the other videographer intern, with a couple of video projects for realigning the new employee orientation content, and just, so much more. I've gotten so much experience here.
That is excellent, and a great segue to our next intern. That would be Samantha. Sam, go ahead and introduce yourself and what you've been doing this summer.
Hi, I'm Samantha KORDISH. I am the intern for the video team this summer. I've worked on a lot of cool projects like Bailey mentioned, and I've been filming them and editing them for the Michigan Medicine YouTube channel.
Thank you, Sam. And our final intern that we're going to be talking to today is LISAUREL WINFREE. LISAUREL, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm LISAUREL WINFREE. I am the graphic design intern for the summer, and I've had a great time so far. I've gotten to work on a big variety of projects that are both internal and external facing. Like recently I did an infographic for the Von Voigtlanders Women's Hospital, and I'm working on a more long-term project. It's the Mott Children's Hospital annual calendar. So it's a good mix of web projects as well as print, which has been a nice variety to have.
That is great to hear. Yes, I think one of my favorite parts about being here at Michigan Medicine is the variety that we get to work on. So obviously this year has been a little goofy, and it's been very different for all of us. And so kind of talk about what it's been like doing an internship remotely. What's that been like?
When I first started, I guess I wasn't expecting to be as engaged with the employees as I have been. I was kind of expecting to be on my own a little bit, kind of just figuring things out as I go. But I have been involved in so many Zoom calls and meetings that Stephanie Shear and Jennifer Williams, my two kind of mentors, have really been by my side through every step of the way. And I don't feel like I've missed out on anything that I would have gotten in person. So it's been a great experience.
So Sam and LISAUREL, I think in the creative field and creating something, one of the big parts about the creative process is being next to somebody and working things out. What has that been like doing remotely, like trying to either edit a project or create a graphic when you're on your own and have to kind of establish that relationship over Zoom calls? What's that been like?
Well, at least for me, I have been able to get on a lot of Zoom calls with Hunter, and we are able to work through a lot of stuff, and I'm able to get a hold of anybody if I need help with any different projects, and I have used that to my advantage.
On a similar note, I would say that I've also found that people are super responsive. If I ever need feedback or help with something, it's really easy to get a hold of people. And the whole team has been really wonderful about that when I need help.
Yeah, I think I've been almost shocked to see how the creative teamwork is still really viable from this work from home setup. So one thing I wanted to ask all three of you is, what's the biggest thing that you've learned so far that you think will translate to future plans? Like, what have you taken, like Bailey, what have you taken away from this summer so far, and we're only 2 months into it, that you think you can kind of use in the future?
So I right now I'm going to school for communications with a focus in broadcasting and journalism, and that's really the only type of things I've had experience with. So basically just on camera things, a little bit of writing, but with this internship, I feel like I have expanded my skills so much with all of the headlines articles I've written, and doing more of the, secretarial PR side of things than the on-camera stuff that I was doing previously. And I think those skills are super important going into the real world, no matter what kind of job you're going into.
Yeah, same question, Sam and LISAUREL. So, are there things that you've kind of taken away that now have been like, oh, maybe this is something I want to go down this path, or anything that's kind of reinforced what you want to do with your future plans?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned before, I'm working from home some of the time, but I also get the opportunity to work on site and go on shoots. And through that, I'm able to really witness what it's like in a real life scenario, and not like in kind of like a simulated experience, like in classes, like it would be there. So that's probably the thing I'm most grateful for and excited to take on to future jobs.
For me, it's been a very valuable experience getting to work within an established brand guideline as a graphic designer. And in a way, it's nice because it takes some of the heavy lifting out. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle where someone has kind of put in all the edges and then you kind of fill in the rest. But also, I'm hoping that I'll get a couple projects or pieces that I can put into my portfolio, because I will be looking for a full-time job after this internship. So one, it's a really nice experience to be able to put on my resume, as well as to have examples of actual client work that I've done.
Absolutely. So I know because I was with Sam on this shoot, but can you talk about some of the special projects that you've worked on this summer? Sam, I immediately think about the heart procedure that you got to film. Can you maybe talk about some of the special projects besides that one, or that one as well?
Yeah, so that one was probably my favorite by far. So far into the internship, I did not think I would be in a actual procedure room when I applied to the internship, but that was really cool to experience and be a part of. Some other stuff that I've liked to be a part of is just there's a lot of different clinics or doctors or anyone in the hospital that we get to talk to, and we get to see the doctors, but also the patient perspective. So being able to see that and learning of those experiences, but also being a part of like the production side and learning for my future career at the same time has been really something that I am very happy to be a part of.
Excellent. Bailey, LISAUREL, you guys talked a little bit about some of the projects earlier, but is there one that kind of sticks out to you of a project that really they made you proud?
One thing that I have really enjoyed doing this summer has been revamping the whole employee recognition site. I think that recognition is something that's very important, and making that known and putting it out there for all the employees is something I've really been grateful to be a part of. I've created new e-cards for the site and some new banners, and just really made it special for those that are willing to be involved with it.
I check the recognition site like every day, just waiting to be recognized. And Dan and Hunter, if you're listening to this, you should send me something for this recording. LISAUREL, do you want to talk about maybe a project that you've really connected with so far, if there's been one or two?
Honestly, I've enjoyed pretty much all the projects I've had. And like I said, there's a wide variety. Some of them have pretty short deadlines, and others are more ongoing. I think I mentioned before that I'm working on the Mott Children's Calendar, which is a really fun one, and it's very playful, of course. There's pictures of kids on it, and who doesn't like kids? But my mentor, Andrea, and I had talked about that project, and she assigned me that one because she was like, I think it'll be a really good portfolio piece for you. So that one's still in progress. It's nowhere near done yet, but I am enjoying it a lot. I also think that another project I really liked was doing an infographic. It was kind of a fun problem solving project. It's a way to take a lot of information and simplify it so that people can understand it at a quick glance.
I think that's one of the things that I've learned a lot about graphic design over the last couple of years is how many different applications there are for graphic design, infographics and roadmaps and banner images and lower thirds for videos and animations and illustrations. There's a lot. So I'm happy to hear that you've been able to get a wide variety of work this summer. So the last thing we wanted to talk about is what would you kind of like to say to future interns, about this opportunity? If you can kind of give them a plug as to why this has been great, or tips or tricks to kind of survive the intern world. So maybe Bailey, you could start us off.
The biggest thing I would say is that the Michigan medicine community is just like, it's such a family feeling. And obviously I didn't know what I was expecting coming into this, but like I've gotten along so well with everyone and meshed, and everyone's so welcoming and very pleasant to work with. So that's probably one of the big things. And the other thing I would say for incoming interns is just to go for it, even if like I went something out of my comfort zone coming into an internal communications internship. So even if you don't like it, at least you tried, and it's great to get some different experiences than what you're used to in the normal college setting.
LISAUREL, what would you say to incoming interns or future interns? Any tips or tricks or advice?
I don't know if I really have tips or advice so much. I would say that the team here has been really supportive, and they're very willing to help you learn things. So if there's something new that you want to try that you've never done before, you have a lot of people who are willing to teach you or help you out along the way. I got to talk to the illustrators about their process, and we got into a little bit of a discussion about animation as well, which is something I don't really have a lot of experience with. So yeah, just being open and willing to try something new and knowing that your team will help you with it. Honestly, this has been like the nicest group of people that I've ever worked with.
That is great to hear and very exciting. And I will give you $20 later for saying that on air. I appreciate that, LISAUREL. Sam, anything to add?
Well, just to add, piggyback off of what both of them said, just be willing to learn new things. I remember in my interview, I said, I'm not a professional. And Joe, you said that by the end of the summer, if I got the internship, that would be the goal, is to let you be able to say that you are a professional. So just to any future interns, be willing to learn, and you will be given the opportunity through the team.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that not much has changed since my internship days. I totally agree with all you're saying. I think one of my favorite things about Michigan Medicine, and more specifically the DOC, the Department of Communication, where we work, is people are really into embracing the challenge. And if there is something you want to tackle, it's like, let's go for it, right? Let's do it. And the more curiosity you have, I think, as an intern, and the more willingness to kind of take on things, the better time you'll have. Because this isn't an internship. Because I've also done other internships where you go and just kind of sit in a cube for 3 months, and then all of a sudden it's time to go. This is going to be one where we're gonna discuss things and collaborate, and you're going to have a voice in the discussion. Bailey, Sam, LISAUREL, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us here at Michigan Medicine. Now, interns from across the organization are welcome to share their experiences with the Department of Communication. And if they do, they could be featured in a future edition of Headlines or the Employees at Michigan Medicine Facebook page. You can find details of that at mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org. You get the email every day, so I know you can find it. All right, we weren't going to let the regular hosts get away too easily this week. Every episode, we have a lightning round where we ask a guest 4 questions in the span of a minute. Today, Dan Ellman will be put in the hot seat. Dan, are you ready to go?
I think I am. And before we start, Joe, I just want to say I'm a little concerned about my job security now. Not because of you, don't worry. But I mean, Bailey, LISAUREL, and Sam did an incredible job. So I'm a little more concerned that they will take over as hosting the wrap. No, I'm not worried about that.
Well, I know. So Dan called me and said, it was in tears, saying, Joe, I need more ratings. I need more downloads. Will you please? It's sweeps week. Will you come on
Sweeps week, yeah,
and add your name to the wrap? And I said no, and then he begged me again, and I said sure. So Dan, we got some lightning questions here for you. Okay?
I'm ready.
Now, you've been here how long now?
Just over 5 years.
5 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Now, this might be a tough question for you to answer, but it also might not be. What is your favorite story that you have written for Headlines?
Ooh, there were a couple of favorite ones. One that just came out a couple weeks ago about a team that went skydiving, a team of anesthesia technicians that went skydiving a few months ago. And that was pretty awesome to chat with them. And then another one, we created both a video and a story, and it was about a patient services associate who plays the piano over at the Frankel Cardiovascular Center, just on his free time. So on his lunch break, he'll go over and play the piano. And it was so cool to see how much he wanted to look out for patients and how talented he was. He was a self-taught musician, and that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's a great one. And that's my favorite that you've done too, because I was involved in that. So
you were, yes.
Thank you for that. How many, this is a little off topic. I think I might be destroying lightning round here. Do you have any idea how many headline stories you've written in the 5 years?
Ooh, boy, I would say probably an average of 2 to 3 a week. If we're talking about the feature stories, maybe 2 a week. So maybe for 50 weeks, 200 maybe?
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's
maybe
more
than that. It is a lot, but it's fun. And I get to write about all sorts of different topics. It's sort of, it makes it never dull.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What is the coolest place that you have traveled to?
The coolest place I've traveled. Oh boy. I mean, my favorite place to travel actually is Arizona. And we did that. My wife and I did that for our honeymoon. And the coolest thing actually about it was October, and we got to Phoenix. It was 105 degrees. Then we went up to Flagstaff, and it was snowing. So we got 2 inches of snow. Then we went to the Grand Canyon, and it was 50 degrees. Then we went to Sedona, and it was 75 degrees. So I feel like we got all 4 seasons in the span of a week.
Wow. I've never been to Arizona, but the Grand Canyon, we had another colleague who went and posted pictures. Now I want to go.
It's amazing. It's incredible. So if you've not been to the Grand Canyon, put it on your bucket list.
All right, now this question I've been dying to know. Okay, you can only pick one. Would you rather see a Detroit Tigers World Series win or a Northwestern football national championship?
Oh my goodness. That's tough. I would have to say a Northwestern football national championship.
Oh my gosh.
And I know that's blasphemy at the University of Michigan to say that, but I went to Northwestern, purple and white through and through. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. I've never mentioned it before. But yeah, I think because that would be more random and unexpected. I mean, Northwestern's been good, but like you'd think that in my lifetime, your major league team will win the World Series at some point.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers have never won a World Series since I've been alive.
You're missing out. I was 1 year old when they won their last World Series. I remember it fondly.
It's a good thing that I'm not a Detroit Tigers fan. So it's a good thing.
Hold on to your one White Sox World Championship in the last 110 years.
Well, Yeah, I will. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Now, this question, you cannot choose me. If you could meet any person throughout history, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm a history nerd, so it would be someone probably from U.S. history, maybe FDR. I've always been fascinated with him. I use a wheelchair. He used a wheelchair, but he sort of never let it get in the way from his career aspirations. So I think meeting with FDR and sort of seeing, how he went about things would be fascinating, especially in a totally different generation when healthcare wasn't the same way it is today. And his wheelchair was basically a dining room chair with wheels on it. Very different than the titanium chair I'm rolling around in today. So,
absolutely, I think that's a really great pick. That's a great pick. So on the script here, it says, "Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dan. You did an okay job." I think you did an awesome job, Dan.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I don't care what it says here on the script. Okay. All right. What would it be? I know this is your favorite part of the show, Dan. What would it be without the weekly trivia question here on the wrap?
It wouldn't be the wrap. That's what it would.
It wouldn't be the wrap. They would.
Yeah.
They would have to call it something else. So, this week's question: what type of non-pharmaceutical therapy is Rewrite the Script introducing at Michigan Medicine to help patients manage pain? Once again, what type of non-pharmaceutical therapy is Rewrite the Script introducing at Michigan Medicine to help patients manage pain? You can find the answer in last week's headline story, and once you know it, send it to headlines@med.umich.edu for a chance to win a big prize. All right, that's all we have for this week. LISAUREL, Sam, Bailey, and Dan, thanks for being here. And as always, thanks to our listeners and viewers for everything you do for patients, families, and each other. Dan and Hunter, we'll see you next week. Thanks.